Please do.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. You are Mr. Rajnikanth.
Yes, sir.
Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Can you give us a brief introduction, please?
Yes, sir. So, myself Rajnikanth Ramareddipet, and I am from Ramareddipet district, Telangana. I did my graduation and post-graduation from in history. I did my graduation from Sri Venkateshwara College, University of Delhi, and my post-graduation from Indira Gandhi National Open University. I worked as a high school teacher in Hyderabad in a private school for 2 years. So my optional is history, and this is my 6th attempt and my first interview.
First interview?
Yes.
You're fond of quizzes?
Yes, I mean, not fond, but I was there.
They feature in your DAP, right?
Yes.
You in a quiz competition?
Yes, I won the second prize in the quiz competition in 2012.
You're making it clear that it was a long time back and that you're no longer interested in it. Anyway, I'll throw a few quiz questions at you. Let's see how you respond. What is meant by a golden slam in tennis, and who's the only person to have achieved it? Any idea?
Sorry.
Steffi Graf. Golden slam means all the 4 slams, including and plus Olympic gold.
Okay.
And now this is going to be the most difficult of all. Only one person was ranked number 1 in table tennis and won the world championship, and then a couple of years later won Wimbledon. A line of clothing is named after him. Only person to have won both world championship and Wimbledon.
Really sorry, sir.
Okay, doesn't matter. Fred Perry. The answer is Fred Perry.
Okay, sir.
Now, history's come into the limelight these days because there's a trend of thought that history needs to be rewritten. And the logic being given is that some of the stalwarts of Indian history like Rana Sanga, Rana Pratap, Shivaji have not been given their due place. And also some people have gone so far as to suggest that actually Rana Pratap won the Battle of Haldighati. Do you think there's merit in this kind of an approach?
Sir, as you mentioned in the first that certain sections maybe and certain parts of Indian subcontinent were not given enough priority in Indian history writing. For example, Northeastern history, we rarely study about Northeastern states and their past. The same with South Indian history also, very less presence in the Indian history compared to the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. So, in that case, sir, maybe rewriting history is required to include diverse people and diverse sections. And when it comes to the merits of the Battle of Haldighati or related to such cases, maybe some new evidences always come up, sir. Sometimes more new sources, new debates also come up. There also again, it becomes necessary to revise certain parts of history, sir.
Have you heard of the 2 terms judicial activism and judicial overreach? And can you tell me by way of examples how the 2 are different?
So, when legislature and executive maybe do not or do less, when their role becomes less, so the judiciary comes up with certain actions. For example, when the rules related to the sexual harassment of women at workplace, Vishaka guidelines. So that we can call it judicial activism. But so in certain conditions, they also overreach their powers, like when it bans firecrackers, which is generally the part of the legislature or the executive to make laws related to that. Maybe that we can call overreach.
Very good. My final question, what do you understand by good governance?
So, we can say the sabka saath sabka vikas, maybe, so where inclusive governance, we include all sections, and reaching the every nook and corner of the country. The governance, when it reaches to every person, every section, we can call it as good governance, when it is inclusive governance.
Any other component? You have mentioned inclusive governance.
Yes, sir. When people become part of the governance, or
Participation. Yes, very good. Two more inputs and then we are through.
Sorry, sir.
There are many more, but
Yes.
if you can add two more, then I'll be happy. Transparency.
Yes, sir. Transparency in and accountability. When
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, Ramareddy. What do we call you? Ramareddy is okay?
That's my surname, sir. Rajnikanth is my name.
Rajnikanth. So you share your name with a very famous personality
Yes.
who is known for his jokes. You remember any of Rajnikanth jokes?
Sir, like Rajnikanth, a train is running and Rajnikanth runs faster than the train and stops it in such a way they.
Okay. And I also see that you have studied Sanskrit.
Yes, sir. At my.
Do you remember any Sanskrit shlok from Niti Shlokas?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Shokasthana sahasrani, bhayasthana shatani cha, divase divase modam avishanti na panditam.
What is the meaning?
Shokasthana sahasrani, the sahasra means 1,000 times. Shokasthana, like the problems are like, so there are so many problems. Bhayasthani, the fears are, there are hundreds of fears. Shokasthani, bhayasthani, like if you study well, you can overcome all these fears. That
if you study well.
I mean, if you educated.
Okay.
Panditam, if you become educated, then you can overcome fears, your problems and all that.
Okay, I'll tell you a shlok and you tell me the answer.
Yes.
Okay? Yauvanam dhan sampatti prabhutvam avivekita ekaikamapyanarthaya kimu yatra chatushtayam.
Sir, if you don't mind, can you repeat it?
Yauvanam dhan sampatti prabhutvam avivekita ekaikamapyanarthaya kimu yatra chatushtayam.
Sir,
okay, let's take another one. Ayam nijah paro veti ganana laguchetasam udaracharita nam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam.
Udaracharitam means that if you have good personality, or Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam says we are all one family.
Ayam nijah paro veti ganana laguchetasam. This is mine, that is yours. Is the thinking of narrow-minded people. People with wider perspective consider the entire world as their family.
One.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. History is written by the victors. Do you agree?
Sir, it's a very debatable topic.
Why debatable? Those, if you find in the past, books are written only by those kings who have won something, and their courtesans and someone has, or they themselves have written an account of what has happened. So it's written by the victors.
Sir, history as an academic subject and general history, both are different. Sir. There are a lot of writers who write historical facts. I mean history, but as an academic subject where we consider the different sources, and there will be a lot of debates. For example, maybe at least in the 20th century and 21st century, the art of writing history has changed a lot compared to previous centuries.
Why has it changed?
So,
where will you get information to write new history? Whatever material you have, only you will write history only on that basis, no? You can't do anything else in research.
Sir, actually in the recent technological developments leading to the scientific analysis of the past, sir. For example, Harappan civilization.
So you are not using the right term. And archaeological sites can be studied better. documents or writings could be analyzed better,
Yes.
you have to be in order. Okay, please.
What do the terms Aryan and Dravidian indicate?
So in history, it reflects the color also. So languages. Sorry.
Be careful, you have studied a lot of history. Think again.
Yes. So it denotes the languages in
Yes.
beginning.
So why didn't you say so in the first place?
So
They
just
indicate linguistic groups.
linguistic groups. Sir.
Correct?
Yes.
Number one. Number two, if we take history of the variety that we have studied in school, Brahmins are supposed to be the priests, Kshatriyas are supposed to be the rulers, kings and queens, correct? Vaishyas are supposed to be traders, etc.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. But if you look at the two major dynasties in ancient India, the Mauryas and the Guptas, neither was Kshatriya. Now tell me, if they were not Kshatriyas, who were they?
Sir, there is debate among the historians related to the origin of the Mauryas as well as the Guptas.
Tell me. Forget I don't want to go into the theory. What does the name Maurya or Gupta indicate in the present context?
It denotes the Dalit section also, sir. Like
Maurya indicates the Dalit and Gupta?
Gupta indicate the Vaishyas also, sir.
Trader.
The traders, Gupta. So
Will it be right for me to say that we had one Dalit dynasty and one dynasty of the trading community? Would that be correct?
yes, sir. There is a chance that they must have belonged to.
So where did the Kshatriyas disappear?
So again, sorry, sir. Maybe.
All right. Just two more very quick questions. Now, Mahmud of Ghazni, apart from we know him because he came into India so many times and went back and looted the Somnath temple, etc. Tell me something other than that about Mahmud of Ghazni.
Sorry, sir. I'm unable to recall.
Do you know that he was also a great scholar and a very learned man?
Yes, sir. He gave patronage to the
Why did
Al-Biruni.
so why didn't you say so?
Sorry.
Now, Mansabdars, etc. in the Mughal period, or before that, we'll stick to Mansabdars. Do you think the Mansabdari system was the beginning of modern federalism? Yes or no?
Maybe, sir. I can't. Surely I can't say, but maybe sometime.
Take 30 seconds, think and tell me.
Yes, sir. Actually, a lot of maybe after the downfall of the Mughals, many of the Mansabdars, they tried to carve out their own kingdoms in that way.
Correct. My last question. You appeared also for the Central Armed Police Forces exam, correct?
Yes.
Just differentiate between a Central Armed Police Force and a paramilitary force.
Sir, earlier even these Central Armed Forces were called as paramilitary, but so these CAPFs comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the paramilitary comes under both Ministry of Home Affairs as well as the.
Right? Does something like
The
that
Assam
exist?
Rifles is considered as the paramilitary, where they comes under both the defense and the Ministry of Home Affairs. Maybe
No. Moral of the story, don't guess.
Okay.
I'll tell you later. Sir.
Thank you. Rajnikanth.
Sir.
So, Telangana and Bihar share common history in terms of their governance until very recently. Okay, both had Jamindari system, which was attributed as the region that the two regions, Telangana and Bihar, remain backward. Okay. So, what do you think has changed in Telangana or than Andhra Pradesh, which completely changed the course of development in Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana, as compared to Bihar, and Bihar lacked
Sir, one important thing I can recall is the peasant arms rebellion which happened in Telangana after independence. I mean, maybe just before the independence, 1946, which fought against the feudal lords. The lands were taken by the armed peasants. That reason, I think that did not happen maybe in Bihar, where feudal lords continued to have their sway maybe in the
But both had similar pattern of Naxalism until late 1980s. Okay, same pattern, and the root cause was same.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay, okay, just guess. No problems. No problems. Let me move to another thing. Okay. So, in around 2005, if I remember correctly, the Chandrababu Naidu government took a very large loan for beautification of Hyderabad. It was not per se beautification of Hyderabad, but a large part of that project funds were used for beautification of Hyderabad. Okay. So, at that time, actually, Andhra Pradesh needed monies for different things, other things, no? Welfare, IT development, this and that. But 70 to 80% of the money was spent on beautification of Hyderabad. So, what is your view on that?
Sir, in 2000, by 2004, Hyderabad was given more priority, and the agriculture was neglected, and agriculture irrigation, the farmers were generally neglected during that government. That is the reason he lost elections in the 2004. So,
So, was it a good thing or a bad thing?
so he should have no, sir. I think that had its own repercussions, and that led to his downfall.
Okay, apart from the political repercussion which Chandrababu Naidu had to face, okay, but a large part of today's accolades in terms of development of both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, okay, are because of the initiatives taken by Chandrababu Naidu in the field of IT and all that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, industrialization, IT.
Yes.
So how can you forget that?
Yes, so that is also one of the reasons for increasing in the regional imbalances also, sir, within the Telangana region, maybe.
Yeah.
And Rayalaseema
So
also.
now with this new information or information you had already, what's your view on that? My question, coming back to the question, that a large part of the funds were spent on beautification of Hyderabad.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to.
Thank you. Good evening, Rajnikanth.
Good evening, sir.
You come from Telangana,
Yes, sir.
and the two states got bifurcated. Can you tell me the process of states bifurcation?
Yes, sir.
Very briefly, point wise.
Yes,
1, 2, 3,
sir.
4.
Sir, in 2009, that time the Home Minister Chidambaram announced that a new state will be found when the leader KCR was protesting against. After that, it could not. They formed they made a committee, Sri Krishna committee, and it roamed all the regions. They collected data and the opinions from the region. Then they proposed. They given 6 suggestions. One was the separation of Telangana from the state, and the other was like forming Rayala Telangana also.
Tell me the legality, the process.
So the committee gave recommendations, and it was accepted by the Dadin government. Bill was introduced in the parliament. And with a simple majority, they could form new states.
Okay. Rajnikanth, can you tell me some events in history that shaped India?
Some Battle of Tarain, I could recall. It's from the medieval period. Then Battle of Plassey.
India's history of 70 years. I have to mention that.
Sorry, sir.
India's history of 70 years.
70 years.
70,
Sorry.
75.
The Formation of Planning Commission, the emergency period in 1976, 1991 LPG reforms. 1991 LPG reforms. 2008 economic crisis. This I could, some events I could recall, sir. Maybe some that changed the course of Indian
Interesting. And internet revolution in India?
Yes, sir. I do agree with that.
Okay. Rajnikanth, pick one event from history of East India Company which you think is significant and explain why.
So their East India Company involved in Carnatic Wars. Carnatic Wars.
So it was significant. How? Why?
Because they had, they could defeat, because the French was becoming very powerful at that time, and they defeated French. If not, then the French would have become maybe very powerful, and the Indian history would have been, the modern Indian history would have been very different if that war was different. I mean, if East India Company wouldn't win the war. So that is the reason.
Okay, you have mentioned about gym over here in your extracurricular activities. Can you tell me about the problem of non-certified trainers?
So, recent times, like that is leading to some cardiovascular diseases, heart attacks. Also, some people are facing that. Then diet issues also. They wrongly guide people taking the diet. These two issues I can.
Okay. Lastly, you like to listen to Telugu folk songs. In fact, everything you mentioned is Telugu.
Yes,
so maybe we cannot relate. You sing also?
Yes, sir, I sing.
Okay,
but
sing 2-3 lines and also explain the meaning of those 2-3 lines.
Yes, sir. మోదుగు సెట్ ఒకటైనా మొదలు రెండైనా మగవాళ్ళు ఎందరున్నా మగడి సాటి రారు. This is a folk song. It says that the modugu is a tree, sir. The roots are, there are two roots, and magavalu endarunna, like if men can be many, but the value of husband is more. It says that.
Okay, thank you, Rajnikanth. I will pass on to Chairman, sir.
How many mocks have you given?
So this is my 5th mock, sir. 4 mocks have been earlier.
Okay. So let me just red flag this issue that beyond the point, mocks also suffer from the law of diminishing returns. It will be your call, but I would suggest that once your date comes in, then closer to that date, take 1 or 2 mocks and that should be it. Meanwhile, you should prepare. Right? Because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It may come again, but you need to, it's a heaven sent opportunity which you have to grab with both hands right now. So let me start with the posture. Your posture is very stiff. Your hand should be like this. Normal. Everything should be normal, clean shaven, hair neatly combed. We should see an officer striding in, not an unsure candidate or aspirant.
Yes.
So, look, they're not looking at the knowledge part as such. Each question is just a key to unlock your personality.
Yes.
They are looking at integrity, so don't guess. They are looking at logical thinking, lucid exposition, balanced opinions. They are looking to see at your self-confidence, level of your self-confidence, poise, right? Awareness of yourself, the world around you, your state, district and the nation. Right? Conceptual clarity. Basically officer-like qualities.
Yes.
So what you should do is take 100 of these A4 size papers. Think of all the questions that will come your way. They come from your DAF, from current events and from your subject largely.
Yes.
And your job if any. And then once you have a question bank, delve deep into each topic, master it and reduce it to 4 or 5 bullet points in order of priority, and then sit in front of a mirror and practice. The more you practice, the better it will be, and the more you get into this habit of bullet points. I'll just illustrate. I asked you about good governance. Now, there is a framework of good governance which is generally accepted. and there are 8 features. So what are those? A government that is accountable, transparent, responsive, equitable and inclusive, efficient and effective, follows the rule of law, is participatory and consensus oriented.
Yes.
So if you tick these off, then you are ticking off all the boxes. Or even if you tick off 5 or 6 of these, then you tick off the boxes. But if you come up with Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, first of all, that's a political slogan, and it may not go well with someone who has different political opinions. So be wary of these kind of areas. You as a aspiring civil servant are expected to be totally politically neutral. So instead of going into those murky waters, if you had just given me 4 or 5 of these items, I would have been satisfied.
Yes.
So that's the way to approach it. You have all the attributes of a good civil servant. You're a very promising candidate. So just work on these lines and you'll do very well.
Sure. Sir.
Best of luck.
Thank
All
you.
the
Sir.
best.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good.
Thank
All
you
the
so
best.
All the best.
And one last thing. Voice delivery should not be monotonous. From time to time, there should be voice modulation, right? All the best.
much. Sure. Sir. Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank you.